Witches and Wizards, today is the day you've all been waiting for, almost. No, the game did not unexpectedly drop today and everybody's rushing out to play. Nope, nope, nope. But we did get the next best thing. We got gameplay footage. And everybody, from the teaser trailers, from before the teaser trailers, everybody's been saying, I gotta see what this game looks like before I know if I'm interested or not. And I hope, after seeing today's game footage, I think you're gonna be like me and you're gonna say, all right, I'm in. I'm in. So let me just start off this video by saying, first and foremost, there's way too much to even come close to doing justice to covering in one video. Therefore, for today, we're just gonna talk the basics. I'm gonna get you so that you know where we're starting from, so you can see where we're going down the road, and over the next few weeks, bit by bit, piece by piece, video by video, I hope you guys will join me in the journey to solving the calamity, because after all, this game is a puzzle. Ultimately, at the end of the day, this game is a puzzle, and that is totally different than any other augmented reality game. From here on out, there will be at minimum one video per week of Wizards Unite. Depending on how this all shakes out, it could be multiple videos per week, but for today, let's talk about the basics. Well, the first thing that you're going to notice is the map is a lot more congested than, say, Pokemon Go. There is a lot happening here, and at first glance it could be kind of confusing and it can look overwhelming, but I don't think that there's really going to be any need for that, because it is using Niantic's real-world platform, and the things that we see on the screen here are basically just points of interest. As you get accustomed to playing this new game, this will all become second hand to you and it won't seem like that big a deal. But upon first look, it does look kind of intimidating, I'm not gonna lie. Apparently, there will also be like broomsticks and owls flying around in the sky, whizzing past you. It looks like if we look closely, maybe there's a broomstick on the screen here in front of our avatar. It just adds to the excitement of the game, honestly. So what are we trying to do? Well, we're trying to solve the calamity, because at the end of the day, this is a role-playing game that has a puzzle that needs to be solved, and this isn't really going to be something that can be solved in the first year. The game was created to have decades worth of life, and that is just something I can't even wrap my mind around. We are going to be having encounters and ingredients which are going to pop up kind of like Pokemon would spawn, and where you are in the real world is going to matter. For example, school related foundables, which are what is actually going to be what's spawning, are more likely to be found at schools, so that kind of makes sense. Also, the time of the day matters, the weather is going to matter, where you are in the world is most likely going to matter. So this is going to be a game that is going to make you get out and travel. And this is not sit at home, play on your couch type of game. Your foundables, what are those? Well, those can be magical items, they can be creatures, or they can be characters. On the map here, I'm kind of taking some liberties and just using an educated guess, since I haven't seen anybody point these out specifically, but the most prominent items on the board are going to be inns and greenhouses. Inns are going to be where you pick up food items. Greenhouses are going to be where you pick up potion and ingredients. These are going to be semi-randomized items, and they will both have a 5-minute cooldown. That's going to be how you replenish your supplies as you go through your day-to-day battles. There are also going to be landmarks where a particular foundable is more likely to spawn, and luckily for us, that's going to be marked by a little flag, as you can see here. And then we have one of those iconic symbols that is found on the registry, so it all kind of ties into the teaser trailers that we have seen and known to grow and love. Finally, there's no actual picture of a fortress, but I believe off in the distance over here is the top of a fortress. It's going to be much, much larger than inns or greenhouses, and so it will be hard to not be able to distinguish those. And there's a little bit of, like, I'm not going to say conflicting information about what exactly the fortress is. The gist of a fortress is that's where the big bosses are going to be, the big battles are going to happen, and you're going to have to team up with other players in order to take these down. Any more of the specifics, there's kind of differing bits of information out there. By the way, everywhere that I'm getting my information from, there will be links down in the description below. Suffice to say, a fortress is going to be a dungeon where you team up to do battle. There's going to be different floors with different enemies, and you're going to have to create a multi-class team, and I'll get into what a class is in just a moment, in order to defeat the fortress. The more floors you clear, the higher your rewards are going to be. One thing that we don't necessarily see on this map screenshot, from the best that I can tell, is a port key. Port keys are going to be charged by walking, and once you fill the port key, you're going to be able to put it down literally anywhere and step through it to look around at a new scene in augmented reality. Think Olacander's shop, or maybe Dumbledore's office, for example. Something that we have yet to see in an augmented reality game that I think a lot of people are going to be pretty excited to test that feature out. Continuing to look on and explore what it is our home screen or game screen is going to look like. At the bottom, you're going to see a player avatar. You are going to be able to customize your appearance and even make a wizarding passport. Now, here's the deal. The game is going to be free to play, but there will be microtransactions. Obviously, you're going to be able to customize your appearance to best suit however you feel your witch or your wizard would look like. And then this wizarding passport is going to be just for you. It's not going to be something that the public sees, and you will choose a house at this spot, although at launch, which house you choose is going to have zero effect on gameplay. Hello, Team Ravenclaw. The suitcase down in the bottom middle of the screen, that's most likely where you're going to access things such as your registry or your skill tree. And if you will remember, your registry is those symbols that we've seen. It's going to have 10 pages where you collect your foundables. The foundables are going to be like kind of like trading cards where you're going to fill up stickers, I guess is a good analogy here. And then once you fill up those stickers, it unlocks new things within the game. Finally, if we look down on the bottom right hand side of the screen, it looks like a calendar. And my guess is this is going to be like research tasks, or maybe daily missions that need to be completed each day that will be assigned maybe by Matilda Grimblehawk or Constance maybe. That would be my best guess as far as what would be contained over in that area. Now let's talk about battling, because after we've walked around and we've discovered a foundable, what are we going to want to do with this? Well, battling is going to be like its own little mini game. First of all, it can be done in AR, but it is not actually going to be required. What you're going to have to do in order to battle is you're either going to have to align the trio of stars, or you're going to have to align the circular power indicator based on what kind of opponent you're battling. Once they're aligned, you're going to tap it. Then a Makuza clock looks like it's going to pop up, and it's going to indicate the difficulty of this encounter, and the appropriate spell pattern will then become visible. Now, this isn't for you to choose, it's automatically going to be displayed. You're going to want to trace that pattern, and the faster and more accurate you are, the more powerful your attack is going to be. But be careful, because these encounters can attack you back. And while you can't die per se, if you run out of stamina, you will fail the mission or the encounter. There will also be potions to improve the strength of your spell, or to replace lost stamina during the battle. As you can see, you're going to swipe down in order to defend yourself against an encounter's attack. Looking down at the bottom left-hand side of the screen, you're going to see a lightning bolt indicator, and that is going to indicate your spell stamina, your spell energy, and how many you have left to use. You can see in the videos of the different battles, it's going to be capped at 150 and then go down by 1 each time that a spell is cast. As I mentioned at the beginning of this game, houses are not going to have any kind of bearing on your gameplay. Rather, we are all recruits of the SOS task force, and as such, we're all going to be working together to solve the puzzle of the calamity. And while there aren't teams per se, there are going to be 3 different professions or classes, as I referred to them when talking about fortresses. Remember, you're going to have to use multi-class teams in order to take down the fortresses. The 3 options are going to be the Or, which is going to be strong at casting spells and defeating dark wizards. You're going to have the Magizoologist, a tank support class, which is strong versus magical beasts. And finally, there is the Professor class, which has deep magical knowledge. Each profession will have a skill tree with unlockable skills as well as stat bonuses to accuracy and power. And yes, you can change your class, but you can't change your skill tree for free. Now, it's been reported that J.K. Rowling is not directly involved with the game and that the voice actors are just sound-alikes. So the game is not going to be 100% canon, but you are going to be able to encounter many of your favorite iconic characters throughout all the Harry Potter series. And man, it sounds really good. While no exact release date was mentioned and there was no mention of what countries are going to be getting the game, it is going to be released in 17 languages: English, French, Italian, German, Spanish, Brazilian and European Portuguese, Polish, Russian, Swedish, Norwegian, Japanese, Korean, and Latin American Spanish. I think it is safe to assume that if your country speaks these languages as their native tongue, chances are you're probably going to get the game, if not directly at launch, very soon after. So that's it. Those are the very basics. I told you it wasn't going to be a real long or deep video, but there's so much to go over. The gameplay looks incredible. There are so many different levels to this game that have me really excited to dig even further into what it is that we are going to be doing, dissect more of these videos that we now have about gameplay. And man, one word of caution: you can sign up for pre-registration through the Google Play Store only at the time of recording this video. Apparently Apple is going to be announced at a later time. So for you fellow Apple players out there, I don't know if this is going to affect your ability to do the beta. I'm not going to tell you to go out and buy an Android phone simply for the purposes of potentially getting the beta, but Niantic did just partner with Samsung. So anyway, let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think? What do you think of the gameplay? You guys hyped for the game now? I also head over to my Twitter because I put up a poll as far as which class or which profession were you going to be most interested in joining when the game launches. I haven't decided on that one yet. Anyways, that's all I've got for this one. Officially today, the journey to solve the calamity has begun. I hope you guys will join me for it, and until next time.